Well, hello, friends. Today I'm sharing with you how I finished off my quilt top, the uneven 9-patch scrappy style. And no, these are not the borders that you are seeing now. These are those star strip sets that I made that will be going in the quilt itself. These turned out super cute, I think. So let me share with you how I put all of this together. Now, these are 6-inch sawtooth stars, and instead of just a solid center, I used a square and a square for the center part, and then just made it like the normal sawtooth star. And now I'm just going to trim those little bits and pieces off so that it can be all smooth and even to add it in with my units that I've already made. So I'm trying to be very careful not to cut off my points. But if it happens, it happens. It won't ruin the quilt. I think it'll still be super cute even if I lose a few points. Sometimes we're our own worst critics, right? Okay, I've just laid, I've already finished part of the quilt. As you can see, I've already got one star unit on the other side, and I've got the middle 2 rows of the blocks. Then I've got the stars on either side of that, and then I'll have 2 more units of blocks to put on each side of those stars. So here I am getting ready to stitch this last row of stars onto the quilt. Now, these stars were really fun to do. I was trying to think of a way to kind of dress up this little scrappy quilt because it seemed kind of plain just by itself. So I thought those stars would be a perfect way to dress it up, as you can see there. I stayed with the blue and green theme and the cream color background. But we are going to get to those cute borders in just a little bit. Okay. Here I am stitching this to the other one of the other units of 2 rows of squares, or blocks, I should say, I guess. And I've sped this up a little bit, so it won't be too long. We'll get this all together, and then we'll get to those cute borders. Okay, one more unit to go on the other end, but you can see how adorable that's turning out, right? I love scrappy quilts. Just think, all of these pieces were, except for the cream colored background. Well, even those were in my strip containers. So actually, everything was just in bits and pieces and leftover stuff. So here comes the last unit, and I like to put my quilts together in units like that, and then sew the units together rather than just doing long rows of one block at a time. Just makes it easier for me. All right. I had to use a voiceover on this particular video rather than talking my way through it because it is hot here in Texas, and my sewing room is an outdoor building, and I have a window unit for air conditioning and heating, and it gets pretty loud in there, and so it's kind of hard to record when I've got that going. Okay, so here we are. It's looking pretty good. Love the rows of stars in there. I think it just dresses it up. Okay, I've laid it out on top of the long arm. Now I'm going to try and figure out what to do about my borders. Now, this is before I thought of these cute borders that I sort of advertised at the beginning. My original plan was to take that green that you see just below the star between the two blue strips and just put that all the way around, just the green. I got it sewn on the two long sides, and then, like I said, this came out of one of my scrap buckets. And then I realized that I was a little short on it, getting the top and bottom done. So I thought, oh my, what am I going to do? Am I going to just put green on two sides and blue on two sides, or what am I going to do? And then I remembered that I had 5 extra star blocks. So I thought, oh, would that be cute to have a star, a large cornerstone made up of the stars in each corner. So I kept working on it and kept working on it, and I finally figured out a way to do that. And I did have enough green to, with the stars added to it, to do the top and bottom. And then I found the blue strips and decided I would dress it up just a little bit more by using those. And you'll see in a minute that I actually enclose the whole outside of my quilt with the more narrow blue strip. Isn't that a cute border? I just love those borders. So I think I'm putting the last blue strip on the outside there. This was definitely a work of trial and error, but I'm glad I persevered. I think it was well worth the time. Okay, so there we are. See how the blue strip just brought it all together. putting it around the whole quilt like that. Oh, it looks like I still have one more blue strip to put on. Okay, we'll get that done really quickly here. And there we are. It's all finished, except for the quilting and binding. And I will have that little red, black, and white quilt on the long arm done before you know it. And then this one will be the next one that goes on the long arm. And there I have it laid out over the long arm just to kind of show it off a little bit. Really pleased the way it turned out. You can see my tubs under the long arm there. That's where I store most of my fabrics and my scrap baskets and things. Well, thanks for joining me today and letting me share with you a little bit this cute scrappy quilt. And I hope to see you next time here on Simply Quilting. Thanks for watching.